Welcome back to the Backrooms, a procedurally generated dimension of corridors and halls resembling distorted liminal spaces that hosts a sprawling environment of monstrosities. If you don't know what the Backrooms are, you should definitely watch my other stuff explaining it after this video and subscribe, or I will find you and only no-clip your naughty bits, so it's basically just castration. With that out of the way, let's take a look at more of the entities skulking through these halls. Wall worms are worms residing in the walls of the Backrooms that can grow up to 30 feet in length. These worms resemble, but do not taste like, the common earthworm. They move in an unnatural, seemingly robotic pulsating rhythm. Someone please sample it and make me a wallworm type beat. Wallworms vary wildly in size, with possibly only the environment limiting how big they can get. Worms in level 0 and similar levels will be around 2 feet long, whereas levels with large uninterrupted sections of land can have wallworms as long as 20 feet in length, with unconfirmed reports of worms growing to be around the size of a few city blocks. Wallworms contain robotic cores in their interior which serve to animate them. These robotic engines differ from worm to worm and are usually in a rusty state of disrepair despite remaining functional. So no, unless you want tetanus in your vagitinus, you cannot stick these cores inside of there. Some wall worms have been described as a layer of skin approximately 1 lambskin condom thick stretched out around a cylindrical mass of electrical wires that extend from their core, while others have a small core buried deep within an extensive and otherwise natural mass of flesh. To date, no wallworm in captivity or otherwise has been observed to die of natural causes, but they can be killed easily by destroying this inner core. Aside from providing these electrical impulses that allow the wallworms to move, these corroded engines will also produce a corrosive, viscous slime of unknown chemical composition that allows wallworms to eat through almost anything. This residue displays highly acidic properties and is highly flammable, threatening to make entire colonies and outpost infrastructures unstable if a wallworm infestation is not dealt with immediately. Backrooms life hack: you can milk these worms and collect their acidic secretions in glass almond water containers. After you recover from milking your worm, plop a napkin in the top and light it on fire. Essentially, you have an acid bomb and a Molotov cocktail all in one. If the flesh of the wallworm is damaged or removed, it will be fully regenerated within a period of 2 days via a chemical reaction that causes a wallworm's acidic slime to congeal and coalesce into new layers of skin. If you're desperate enough, you can carve out small sections of this worm and cook them for food, since they'll grow back, and you can basically use this creature like a living flesh farm. This is the Game Master. This entity is the only entity that inhabits level 389, aka the Gaming Hall. She resembles a human-sized doll with a jester hat and a dress, has stitched X's for eyes, appears to be suspended like a puppet, and because this is my video and you're obviously gonna make me do another Backroom Smash or Pass episode, I'm gonna make her bad as hell. Seriously, human, stop trying to make me fuck the Harley Quinn puppet. It's not funny, it's gonna get us both in trouble. This entity just likes to chill and play games. When playing a game with a survivor trapped inside level 389, the Game Master will always attempt to cheat without the player knowing. However, if called out on her breaking the rules, she will instantly be forced to stop. This same rule applies to the player. It is still unclear what actually happens when a game is lost. Her personality could be described as chaotic and unpredictable, where she will move around in gravity-defying mannerisms, as well as her hands having the appearance of being tugged on/around. She will typically be found tinkering with the game she creates and edits, or laying down on the ground like a rag doll. Pretty relatable, most of my day is spent doing one of those two things too. The Game Master will often go several hours or even days completely limp. While the Game Master exhibits control over the entire level, she cannot leave and claims to be trapped inside. It is assumed that she is a puppet in the literal sense, and something unknown to us is currently in control of her physical body. Alright, this is getting more and more sus by the moment, and that's exactly what I was worried about. The Game Master seems to have powerful telekinetic and reality-altering abilities, being able to create games that break the laws of physics and edit these games without making physical contact. In addition, level 389 itself seems to move and change its layout to her will. Fortunately, she does not use these powers to harm survivors on this level, except a little bit in the fun way. Any photos taken of the Game Master will inexplicably show up as blank. Well, to you it's inexplicable because you don't have interdimensional internet and you haven't seen her post about content theft from her OnlyFans. Scorpses are scorpion-like creatures that like to remove heads from dead bodies and talk using their voices. Well, that's a pretty neat party trick. They can do a lot more than just your average talented puppeteer that just happens to use decapitated human heads. They can psychically project the deceased's memories. If they cannot find a pre-cut head to communicate with, they will use their club-like tails to bludgeon wanderers to death and use their heads for communication. They measure on average 10 feet or 3 meters long and weigh around 200 pounds. When they have a human head to speak through, they are about as intelligent as a regular human being, but without it, they are about as dumb as a regular scorpion. Once in possession of a human skull, Scorpses are able to project mental images into the minds of anybody within a 50 feet radius. These images will be composed from memories belonging to the decapitated head, but are used by the Scorpses to communicate through a vaguely understood pictographic language. The Scorpses will torture their victims with disturbing memories such as the deceased dying moments, hysterical shrieks and laughter, or images of a dead person fondling their bits to porn you didn't even know existed. However, as the brain matter within the skull continues to decompose, the entity will also begin to lose its enhanced intelligence until it is unable to project telepathic images and is returned to its baseline intelligence. When this happens, Scorpses will proceed to seek out another corpse which they can decapitate and use to start the cycle all over again. The circle of life never ceases to amaze and inspire me. That's it for this episode. If you want me to come back to Backrooms and do more such things, make sure to like, comment, subscribe with all notifications enabled or I'll turn you inside out. I'd like to thank the first ever editor to fondle an AzFk asset pack into a video for me by the name of Biodegradable on Twitter. They're an amazing editor and I'll leave a link to their page in the description.
Subscribe.